doing hard work is pointless when you're in a rot phase because all of your skills have rotten away. So whenever you try to be disciplined, it's like you've got a constant weakness effect. To stop rotting, you have to do the easy quests first and prepare yourself to progress into the harder quests later. In Minecraft, you don't spawn in and instantly kill the Ender Dragon. You have to prepare yourself and at least find the portal, find the Eyes of Ender, before you're even allowed to attempt the fight. But for whatever reason, in real life, you keep trying to do the hardest things first, and then when you fail, you just rot even more, because at least when you're scrolling and being stimulated, you have to think about your miserable life. And I know because I've been through this so many times, it took me years to figure out how to actually stop rotting, how to be disciplined, and honestly just not be miserable. So that's what I'm going to teach you in this video. So a few years ago, I was in my uni dorm trying to fix this coding thing for my business. So I'm like watching tutorials, trying to work really hard, be disciplined, and get this shit done as fast as possible. But everything that I do isn't working. I'll fix one line of code and then 3 other fucking lines break, and I'm just sat there being pissed off with myself. For the past 3 weeks, I've been wasting my time on something that was way too difficult for me. I had no fucking idea how to code, but because I thought that I needed to be disciplined, I kept trying and I kept pushing harder. At the end of every day, I'd make up excuses like, oh well, I've tried really hard today, now I deserve to rest because I've been so disciplined. But of course, instead of resting and actually recovering, all that meant was I was giving up and I'm just gonna scroll on fucking YouTube for the rest of the day. But what I didn't realize was that little resting period was making it so much worse for me. It was giving me weakness on all of my skills because scrolling Instagram reels or watching Mr. Beast videos were rotting my brain away. It wasn't helping me in any way, it was making it worse. Still, I had this weird feeling of wanting to be disciplined, wanting to push harder and succeed, but also just being so tired of failing at everything. Most nights I'd stay up late, staring at my desk, just wondering, why do I still bother with this? Like, I dropped out of uni for this business. I had to call my mum and tell her that I'm dropping out. She told the rest of my family. And now there's so much pressure on myself to live up to this fucking dream that I created. If I didn't make enough money to live on my own terms, I'd have to go back to my hometown, face my mum, face my parents, face fucking everybody I ever knew, and admit that I'm a failure. And my ego couldn't take that. So at the time, I was running Unturned servers, which was basically like a shitty Roblox zombie game. But it meant that I had to create the NPCs, make the map, do the marketing, make the discords, all of that by myself. And me with my fucking 300 IQ, I decided that because I don't know how to make NPCs, that's the thing that I'm going to learn because it'll take the most discipline, and being disciplined is good, right? It just hit me one day. I had to be honest with myself and like have a conversation with myself saying, I'm not even going to fucking release this business on time. I'm going to get kicked out of uni, of my housing, way before that anything is even ready. There's not even a single chance I'm going to have enough money to live on my own. And if anything, I'm fucking like 14 grand in debt from uni, so it's not looking good. But the worst part was that I now have to call my mum and ask her to live with her again. Like, I had to figure out how the fuck I'm going to survive. I have to go back home, face the embarrassment of everybody I've ever known, knowing that I dropped out of uni, and for what? Like, I had nothing to show for myself now. And that realization pissed me off so much. That night, I spent like maybe 3 or 4 hours just like writing shit down in my journal. But the number one thing that stood out to me was like, I spent so much time on this one little hard thing in my business, in my life, that I couldn't get past, coding these NPCs. It was such a fucking waste of time. I wrote down everything that I needed to do, step by step in my business, and I figured out like, there were 20 other fucking things I could have been doing. I could have worked on the maps, I could have worked on the websites, I could have worked on the Discord, on the marketing, on literally anything else. But because I was retarded, I chose to do the disciplined thing, the hard task, and I wasted all my time on it. I didn't get any better at it, I had no idea what I was doing, and now I had to go back home as a failure. For most of my life, I thought that I was just a lazy kid. I thought that I was someone who just needed to try harder and put more effort in. But that night, I realized that I wasn't failing because I was lazy. I was failing because I didn't have the right skills. I was unprepared for the quest. But I wasn't unprepared, and I was ready for the other quest, the easier shit that I was putting off. I could make the maps, I could make the Discord, I could make the website. Those things were easy, and those are the things I had to start doing instead of the other thing. I had to put aside the hard thing that I thought I needed to do. I had to stop working on the NPCs and start working on the easier things. Imagine you're playing some sort of video game and you're stuck on this like level 50 boss that you're trying to fight. If you've got level 1 discipline, level 1 fucking coding skill, and level 1 everything else, of course you're going to keep failing. You're never going to defeat this boss. You're just going to keep going around in this stupid spiral of trying, failing, rotting, and then trying again. It doesn't make any sense. But instead, if you start fighting the level 1 bosses, the fucking level 1 skeletons, the level 1 goblins, doing the easy shit first, you start grinding your XP, and before you know it, you're level 2, you're level 3, you're level 4, you're level 50, and then when you go back to the boss to try and do the hard thing again, you're prepared. As soon as I started working on the map or working on the website, it's like I started gaining momentum because I was grinding my XP. I was getting better at those things. And I was actually seeing my business progress for once. For the first time in like 4 weeks, I was actually doing something where I could see progress. And the best thing is, my weakness started to go down as well because I spent less time rotting and fucking crying about shit. I wasn't taking pity on myself, rotting away because I felt like a failure. All I was thinking about was the momentum that I was building up. Like, I was doing quest by quest, working on these little tiny things, and they were taking up my time. I had no reason to rot. I'd rather work on the easy things because they were fun and I could easily complete them. It was just like smurfing in a video game. My focus, my consistency, my discipline, it all went up. And by the end of it, when I finally got done with all the easy stuff and it was time for the NPCs, of course, I was way better at them, and it didn't take me 3 weeks to make zero progress. I finished them all in like maybe 2 weeks, but they were actually good quality, and I knew what the fuck I was doing because everything else taught me the basic skills. I can't lie, I know this story sounds like it's a bit all over the place, but the main point I want you to take away is that if you're stuck on a hard thing, it's probably because you're unprepared for it and you don't have the right skills. You have to grind the easier stuff first in life, level up your skills, and then come back to it once you're prepared. For me, over the next few months, I built up a bunch of momentum, I got the business ready, we launched, I made my first ever money online, and it was to this day, it's still one of the proudest moments of my life. But it wasn't enough. I did have to go home, I did have to go live with my mum, and I did have to go through the embarrassment of being a failure, because I spent so much time beforehand rotting and taking advice from people who didn't know what the fuck they were talking about. Don't focus on the hard thing if you're a level fucking 1 trying to do a level 50 boss. Don't force yourself to do hard things just because you saw a fucking David Goggins Instagram reel or some TikTok edit. Your problem isn't that you're lazy, it's that you're unprepared for the quest that you're trying to do. So if you can't sit still and read for 5 minutes, don't set yourself the task of studying for 3 hours, because of course you're going to fail. Of course you're going to feel like a failure when you inevitably give up, and then of course you're just going to rot scrolling Instagram to numb your brain and not have to think about the fact that you can't even fucking read for 5 minutes. Set yourself the task of reading for 5 minutes, reading for 6 minutes, 7 minutes, 8 minutes. Progressively overload. Grind your XP on quests that you can actually do, shit that is doable, that you're prepared for, and just like in the gym, don't immediately try and bench 100 kilo. Bench what you can, and then week by week, bench a little bit more so you can get more XP in that skill. That's how you stop rotting, that's how you stay disciplined, because doing the hard thing isn't discipline if you just fail, give up, and then rot because you're feeling sorry for yourself. That's just called being retarded. So do this right now. Grab a pen, grab a notebook, and list every single quest in your life. What could you do to move your life forward? Like, what do you need to work on? Do you need to go to the gym? Do you need to fix your health? Do you need to fix your relationships? What is the number one thing that you could be working on? And list it step by step. Like killing the Ender Dragon in Minecraft. Okay, Killing the Ender Dragon is at the top. But underneath that, we have to get Eyes of Ender. Underneath that, we have to find the End Portal. Underneath that, we need to get Blaze Rods. Underneath that, we need to the fucking Nether Portal. List your life like that. Find the very first thing that you can do. The equivalent of like chopping down a tree block in Minecraft. And do that thing. Do that thing, grind your XP, and progress your life as if it was Minecraft. And if you need someone to hold you accountable to that, someone to help you design your life quests like that, tell you which quests to work on, which hard things to avoid because you aren't prepared for, someone who's been through what you've been through to support you, then join the Discord and I'll personally help you stop rotting. It took me years to figure out how to stop rotting, how to stop wasting my potential, but I help everybody in my Discord do that within the first 4 weeks. So if you need help to stop rotting and actually lock in, join the Discord and I'll help you step by step and hold you accountable every single day. Or you can keep scrolling like a good little NPC.